The 2025 state legislative session began this week. Yesterday, we heard from Republican leaders on their priorities for the session. Tonight, it's the Democrats' turn, and we welcome Senate Minority Leader Priya Sundareshan and House Minority Leader Oscar de los Santos. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for asking.
Senator, we'll start with you. Democratic priorities, what you looking for?
We've got a number of significant priorities. One major issue that we're looking to work on is affordability. And affordability in a number of different areas that involves housing prices being high, childcare prices being high. As a mom of 2 kids under 5, I absolutely experience that every day. We want to support public education, which we know we have failed to do for many decades. We want to secure voting rights. We want to secure our water in Arizona. We want to protect the right to privacy. And if there's anything else I forgot.
I was going to say, Representative, that touches all bases there, doesn't it?
It does, and really we're focused affordability, affordability, affordability. The fact is people are outraged by the price gouging that's going on. Everywhere Arizonans turn, they're being fleeced, whether it's in housing or healthcare corporations that are making money hand over fist, and they're tired of being taken advantage of. So we're putting forward solutions to bring down costs and put money back in their pockets.
The governor talked about extending the low-income housing tax credit.
Sure.
Good idea?
I think it's a good idea. Listen, it's one of the tools, not the only tool, it's one of the tools we have to make sure that we have housing that's actually affordable for people. There are other tools we have. I'm putting forward legislation to crack down on the giant out-of-state corporations that are coming in here, buying a ton of our housing stock. Basically removing homes from the market that should belong to Arizona families. Arizona homes should belong to Arizona families. So that's another tool we're going to look at.
To that end, short-term rentals, should something be done? Should something be done? Can something be done? Because again, we're talking to the minority party here.
Yeah. Well, we would love to see something be done. That was something that Governor Hobbs mentioned in her speech as well, that short-term rentals are starting to become problems, and we've been focused on that for a while now, but Republicans in the state legislature have thus far refused to remove the preemption on state and local governments, especially, from being able to regulate short-term rentals. We would love to lift it.
Is that something that could be negotiated? Is that a hard no, or what do you think?
We're at the beginning of session, so hope is eternal right now, and let's hope so.
Let's sticking with you, Senator. Prop 123. Republicans say yes, 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 but all money needs to go to the teachers. I know that the governor's not crazy about that idea. What do you think? I mean, the idea of spreading the money around is what the governor wants to see.
Yeah, we want a clean continuation of Prop 123. It's a vital piece of education funding. Without it, we don't have any confidence that Republicans will adequately fund the public education system from their general fund money. And we know that there's not, teachers are one major and very important part of our public education system. They're not everyone. We've got very important services, janitors and other important educators who also need to be provided for.
Would that be something that you would vote against if it were for teachers only?
We're not going to get there. I think we're going to have a negotiated bipartisan deal that works for everybody. I'm a former public school teacher. I made less than $30,000 a year, so this issue is near and dear to my heart. Democrats love teachers, but we're going to take care of everybody.
As far as ESAs are concerned, again, the idea of guardrails, the governor, billion-dollar boondoggle, had a lot to say about ESAs, a lot to say about something that probably won't get touched by leadership. Republicans will basically say it's all about giving families choice in schools. How do you respond to that?
We love choice, and 90% of Arizona families choose to send their children to public education. But you know what the Republicans have chosen to do? Defund it. We rank 50th in the nation, dead last for public education funding. It's a disaster. It's a tragedy. And in part of the reason why is because we're spending $1 billion on this ESA tax scam, where your taxpayer money is being used to purchase luxury sewing machines and a flat earth curriculum. It's outrageous. That money needs to be in public schools for public school students and families.
And yet it sounds, Senator, like it's untouchable, like it's an untouchable item. Does it feel that way to you?
Again, we haven't seen it yet, but I do hope that we are going to start budgeting responsibly, because we know that our state budget cannot bear the near $1 billion that these vouchers are costing us annually. Without any accountability, right? We've seen the Attorney General bring cases of fraud on non-existent students who are just, people grabbing this money because it's free and unaccountable. That can't continue.
Senator, during the speech, the border was mentioned by the governor, and she said, "I've made it a top priority," which actually got some reaction, you could see, from some Republican lawmakers down there. What do you want to see, they're not buying it, in other words. What do you want to see the governor and the legislature work together? This is a federal issue, obviously, in many ways, shapes, and forms. But what can the state do? What can the legislature do? Because voters have spoken. They passed the proposition that calls for increase. Not that we're still waiting for court cases on that. But the voters have kind of made it clear they want something done.
I think what Governor Hobbs has done already is actually very significant. She's put resources to the border to focus specifically on the drug interdiction that needs to be done, because that's a significant portion of what is causing havoc in the state when you have a flow of drugs. I also know that, the proposition passed, but voters aren't looking for a very severe and extreme crackdown on immigrant communities who contribute so much to our economy. I think what they're looking for is humane policies. And so I don't think, any attempts by Republicans to overreach will be viewed, supported by the voters.
How do you see this, Representative?
We need a balanced approach, and I think Governor Hobbs is striking the exact right tone. We hear a lot of talk and political rhetoric from the other side, but it's Governor Hobbs who has put forward more than $100 million to secure our border, crack down on the cartels, take fentanyl off the streets. Today, big announcement, 8 million pills of fentanyl that Governor Hobbs has taken off the streets with the help of Democrats. Republicans haven't done that. Democrats have. So I think the other side is all talk, we're all the action.
Before you go and you say all talk and all the action, I want you both really quickly on this because we're running out of time. I mentioned minority party. I mentioned voters sending a message. You lost ground at the legislature. What's going on there? What message do you think voters were sending?
Listen, Arizona voters are independent-minded. Sure, Donald Trump won, but so did Ruben Gallego. Yes, Prop 314 passed, but so did the Abortion Access Act pass. Republicans sent a total of 11 of their priorities to the ballot box. The majority of them lost. Arizona voters are independent-minded. Here's the message. Work together. Be bipartisan. Find solutions.
All right, Senator, why do you think Democrats lost ground at the legislature?
Exactly as Leader Del Santos said. I'll just add, too, I think voters are looking for affordability. They weren't seeing it. Democratic proposals this session are focused on solutions to the affordability crisis that we're facing. Republican proposals are a lot of talk, but no action.
Senator Sundareshan and Representative Oscar de los Santos, again, minority leaders at the legislature. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.